There is Jessie here. Welcome to the channel. Thank you very, very much for the new people that have joined. Thank you very much for everyone who comes all the time. Love ya. So how are you doing, guys? How is life treating you? How do you feel in this moment in time? My friend does this exercise. She's been doing it for a few months now, where she's set an alarm on her phone that goes off every 2 hours to remind her to check in with how she's feeling. And it's seriously transforming her life in many ways. And I haven't tried this. It just popped in my mind as like a really good idea. And I even went to set the alarms this morning on my phone, but something stopped me and I didn't do it. And I just noticed there's obviously a bit of resistance there. But I think it's a really nice practice, and I'm sharing it with you. Maybe that's something just to keep checking in. How am I feeling? And what do I need to feel safe? So I'm going to share a story with you today about what's been going on in my life, and maybe it resonates with you, maybe not. Here we go. A couple of weeks ago, right? Okay, let me start from the beginning. A few weeks ago, I was at a festival in the UK, and I met this man, and he fell head over heels for me. And he even proposed. Which I know is a crazy fucking thing, but it's actually always how I imagined I would meet my husband. Like, he met me and it was like love at first sight, and it's like, you're the only woman for me. So I was like, I went along with it all, you know. I was like, with feet on the ground, you know, this is crazy, but also there's something about like a man knowing what they want, like knowing the woman that they want, and it being like no other, is very appealing to me. Like, I'd love to experience that kind of surety. Like, imagine if someone is so sure that it's you. So, question to the females, do you feel this too? And do you feel that's dangerous in any way? And men watching, what's your take on that? Because I've got a lot of male friends and have seen online as well people talking about this experience, that they were like dating, couldn't really commit, and then they met this one and they were like, oh, I think it's them. So I have this idea that it's possible in my head. So any thoughts, men and women, on your experience of that? Write it down below. I'm super curious. And yeah, so anyway, so met this guy, all great, we're at a festival, we're hanging out a lot, and it was all very, it was like it was what we both wanted. That's what it felt like. And then we planned this date, and then he cancelled the date in the morning, and I made a video about that, about how there was a choice point where I could have made him cancelling the date justify all the limiting beliefs I've had throughout my life about men and about my worthiness. And I could catch it and be like, I'm not going to make it mean any of that. I'm going to choose it to mean something different. And when I made that decision, he actually energetically came back through. Like, he called me in the afternoon, I'm so sorry, please come round. I went round, all good. And then, you know, he was feeling really guilty. I'm so sorry. He had a very valid reason. And I was like, it's all right, just make it up to me. Make it up to me. And he was like, okay, all right, maybe Sunday then we can do something. I'm like, great, Sunday. Okay, I'm going to leave my big backpack at yours so I don't lug it around London for the weekend. We'll have a date on Sunday. If I can stay here, don't have to have any funny business, just as a place to stay before I take my flight back. Yeah, all good. Sunday comes around, text him in the morning, no response, until about 2 p.m, where he rings me like, I need to come and meet you and explain. So I wait in a park near his house, and he comes with the bag. Uh-oh. Dum. Basically what happened is he had been on the phone all morning with a friend in serious distress, and she really, really wanted to be with him that afternoon, and he felt really divided, like, oh, I've got this date and it's going, you know, or like, where do my loyalties lie, or what do I prioritize here, old friendship or new potential something, maybe not. And he chose to prioritize the friendship, which I don't have any issue with. In fact, it's quite a good quality. You know, I appreciate that. but he didn't, in my opinion, manage it the best. Like, it didn't mean that we had to end. He really, like, drew a line in the sand. He was like, no, it's overwhelming, enough, get out of my life. And again, you know, when he came and said all of that in the past, a year ago, the all of my life, I would have been really upset with it. And I wasn't. I was like, okay. And I tell you why, because what I was attracted to in this man was his, like, surety, his confidence. Like, he really knew what he wanted. And then this week later, like, he did not. That had gone, which is okay. But it wasn't attractive to me. And, you know, if this is how you're showing up and this is how you're managing things, you ain't my man. So it was really, really cool. Anyway, telling you all of this because life gave me a bit of a test run, didn't it? Because then I come back to Portugal, I go to a gathering, and I meet another man with the same energy. Not completely. No, actually, it wasn't the same energy, but there were so many similarities to, like, their life, a bit of their upbringing, their career. Like, there were enough for it to be like, And I tell you what, because of the test run I'd had the week before, I had like assimilated all those lessons, and life was like, okay, what are you going to do this time? And, you know, I think what I did with the other guy, because I'm so, like, ready for relationship and commitment, that and because I've been a single lady surviving in this patriarchal world, and it just is like that amongst many other things at the moment, I've had to, and I learnt this from my mum and my grandmother and my great-grandmother, like, the women in that family line have had to be much more in their masculine as a means to survive, because there's also been this narrative about men not being there. So the response to that was like, okay, be in the masculine, you know, like my mum was my mum, but she was like the father in a lot of ways, in that she provided and there was the structure and she was more strict. So I'm quite masculine in my being, in like, it helps me survive. And the more I've learnt about masculine and feminine energies, and actually like the feminine's more about surrender and receiving, I was initiating with this guy back in London, you know. I was really initiating a lot of it, and I was kind of had the masculine role a bit. And I think that might have put him off, you know. And that was a wonderful thing to learn, because I don't want to be that anyway. I don't want to show up like that. I want a man to show up like that. So I got to let them, right? So I met this new guy, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this is funny and quite similar. So I'm going to play my cards very differently. So card number one, we were hanging out like in the like near the tents. You know, it was past bedtime, to be honest, but we were just hanging out. And he says at one point, "Can I kiss you?" And because of what had happened like weeks before, where I'm like, oh yeah, a kiss is but a kiss, right? And I don't know his context, I don't know his situation, he doesn't know mine. Like, I don't want to just go in with a kiss, which is sad, because I miss, like, spontaneity and impulsivity is romantic and sexy for me. But as an adult in this world, it's just not like, I'm not 16 anymore, where you can just be like, fuck it, let's find out. It's like, what is the context of your life, and what does this kiss mean? And the reason that it's important is because if I just kiss someone, then it's creating something more. So I said no. Anyway, we continued hanging out over the weekend. There was definitely attraction there. It was feeling good. Come back home, and I get his number. I find his number. And I was a little bit like, oh, am I initiating again? But I wanted to make it really clear to him that me saying no to the kiss wasn't a rejection. It was just in that moment I needed to self-preserve a little bit. So I reach out and I say this. I'm like, hey, it's not that I didn't or don't want to kiss you. It's just I felt like we both needed a bit more context before we just jump into making the connection physical, without knowing the stories that we're in. And he was super grateful to receive that message, and then invited me round to his house this weekend. And I get there, And he's like, yeah, just come out of a 3-year relationship, trying to recover from burnout. And I'm going away next week for 2 months to the Amazon. So when he told me all of this, I was like, thank fuck for my no. Thank you for me trying to self-preserve in that moment, because this is exactly the context I'm talking about. You know, like, for me, a kiss would create many potential possibilities in my mind that I will think about, because it's something I really want. So saying no, actually, and then hearing his story, it was like, it felt so good. It felt so good to know that I'd made the right decision. So we agree just to be platonic. Like, we really get along, but it's not really the time. Like, he's definitely in transition mode. And I'm still going through a deep process myself anyway. So, yeah, agreed to be platonic, right? And then we're hanging out, conversation's great, there's definitely attraction there. Neither of us are acting on it because we sort of decided not to until like the next day. And he's like, can we just have a cuddle? Like, no funny business, but just a cuddle. And I'm like, oh my God, yes, thank you. Because my body wanted it so much. It really wanted that closeness and that intimacy. And his too, you know, it was like magnets being drawn, but we were both trying to be like practical about it. Anyway, so we cuddle, and then, you know, very, very, very slowly, the kiss finds itself. And I love that. Don't you love when a kiss kisses itself? Like, rather than like, hey, can I kiss you? Or like, let's kiss. Or like that immediacy. No, I like it when I like it to build slowly. And like something moves through you. So it's very intimate and very tender and very loving. And then he had a jam, like, and, you know, 20, 30 people arrived, having a great time, all good, la 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 la. I stay again, and then the next day we hang out, go and see some friends. He just shared his whole life with me for a weekend. And because I knew, because of the experience I'd had back in London, where it was like, don't in any way, Jessie, expect this to go on any longer than this weekend. Like, and what that made me do is just really enjoy the time, like the moments that we had together, like be very, very grateful for everything that I had in that moment, knowing that it could totally disappear from my life. And coming into the present and being grateful in that way and not projecting out into the future helped me enjoy it so much, and actually like not create so much attachment, which is I think where I've always been going quite wrong. So yeah, anyway, I stay Sunday night as well because it's all going very fucking well. And then Sunday night, he brings out 2 pieces of paper and 2 pencils. And I'm like, cool, what are we doing? He's like, I don't know. And I'm like, let's draw each other. So we're drawing each other, and we're like looking in each other's eyes and drawing. And it was the most fucking intimate thing we could have done. Like, it was scary, man. And I think I even said at the time, I was like, holy shit, it was so intimate. And that's when it was like I could see potential timeline with this person, like it was like life flashing before my eyes, that a life that hasn't existed, and it shook me to my core. And I said something like, oh my God, I'm scared, and he was feeling it too, but I absolutely freaked out in that moment. I like recoiled in terror. I like shut down, actually, because that's the scary bit of love, isn't it? If you let yourself fall in love, like, you're vulnerable to that closing down. But what even weird one, isn't it? Anyway, I shut down a little bit and kind of took myself to bed. And then the next day he brought it up, which I was very grateful for. He's like, everything all right? And he even pinpointed the moment, and we were able to talk about it. And just, I was like, yeah, did feel a bit vulnerable. Did feel like I could have like fallen in love with you, or like allowed myself to, and I didn't want to because you're leaving and I'm going away, and like, what even is this? But it was really nice, and we decided just to be platonic, like let's just be friends. He's got his journey to go on now, and I've got my own actually over the next couple of months, and let's just see each other on the other side. But you know, when we're both like, it was really good, wasn't it? It was really good, and we both really thought it was really good, but we're both like, eh? And I had a partner once that said to me, you need 3 things in love, and I don't remember what they all are, but one of them was timing, and it's crucial actually. And I feel like it's bad timing and good timing, this. Anyway, thank you for listening. All that to say, I am acutely aware of how I can respond differently now, and like my self-worth has got to a position of like, I know I can catch when I'm damning myself, and that I am worthy of these things, doesn't matter what has happened. And it's happening. It's happening. And yeah, it's really cool. And I hope me sharing that story was in some way helpful for you. And no worries if not, because it doesn't matter, actually. I'm feeling a bit awkward. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. Wow, it definitely feels like something's not being said right now. What am I picking up on? I'm feeling like frustration. I don't think it's mine. Who's angry? Maybe I've said something that I don't agree with. I guess all I'll have to do is watch the video back and see what it is. Yeah, let's leave it there. Like the video if you liked it. Let me know your thoughts down below. Subscribe if you're new to the channel and you like to learn and self-reflect through anecdotes of others. That's kind of what I'm doing. And I love you. Have a beautiful day and a beautiful life. See you next video.